Hi guys, happy Monday. I want to share you guys a couple short stories in this book. So I will share it once a week with you guys. So this book is called The Book of Wisdom by Walkan. And there are small stories in this book and it's just very amazing and powerful. So I definitely want to share. Alright guys, so this short story is called The Beggar's Journey. A long time ago, a beggar lived on the streets without a shelter and also had to beg for his food and drink. One day he noticed someone was stealing his food, but he wasn't sure who it could be. The next evening, the beggar realized that a mouse had been at his beggar's bowl. She would grab the bread with her teeth and disappeared. The beggar waited patiently for the mouse to return and then asked her, "Mouse, why are you stealing my food? Can't you see that I'm a poor beggar? Why don't you go to the house of the rich and take some of their food? Surely they can take it better than I can." "Beggar, I can't explain," replied the mouse. "But it's my job to make sure that you never own more than 7 things. And so I steal everything that exceeds this number from you. It's my destiny." The mouse's words astonished the beggar. He wondered how it could be anyone's task to steal from another living thing. The next day, when the mouse stole the bread from his bowl again, the beggar decided to find Buddha and ask him why he was only allowed to possess 7 things. He packed his few belongings and left. After a day's hike, it was getting dark. The beggar began to look around for a place to spend the night and saw a house. He knocked on the door and asked if he could spend the night. The host said yes and invited him in. The host's wife reserved a sumptuous meal, and the beggar ate his fill for the first time in a very long time. Full of curiosity, the woman asked where the beggar was heading. When the beggar replied that he wanted to ask Buddha something, the woman presented him with her own request. "When you see Buddha, can you ask him a question for us?" Grateful for their hospitality, the beggar agreed. "We have a beautiful daughter," the woman began, "but she has not spoken a word since she was born. Please ask Buddha why my daughter does not speak." The beggar promised to ask the question and continued on his way the next morning. After he had been on the road for several hours, he suddenly found himself facing a huge mountain range that he could not possibly cross on foot. Desperately, he scratched his head and looked around, searching for alternative, and soon met an old man with a long white beard. The man held a wooden staff in his hand, at the tip of which was a yellow, flickering ball enclosed by small branches. "Are you a sorcerer?" asked the beggar. The old man answered in an alternative and asked what the beggar was doing so high up in the mountains. The beggar explained that he wanted to go ask Buddha why he had lived a life of poverty, but the mountains were blocking his way to the Buddha's temple. The old man offered his help. "Fly with me," he said. "I will take you over the mountains." He took the beggar by hand, and the 2 figures rose into the air. As they flew over the huge mountains, the sorcerer said, "Do me a favor and ask Buddha, when will I finally get to go to heaven? I've been waiting for 100 years. The beggar, who was grateful for the sorcerers for his help, promised to ask Buddha on his behalf. After the sorcerer brought them back to earth on the other side of the mountains, the beggar continued on his way. In the distance, the beggar could already see the temple of the Buddha, but now a huge river blocked his path. The current was so strong that he was afraid of drowning in it. The beggar settled down on a bank to fail so shortly before the goal made him dejectedly lower his head on his chest. Gloom spread throughout him. Then a huge turtle emerged from the river and asked him, why was he so sad? The beggar told her that he was on his way to ask Buddha to ask him why he had lived a life of poverty. The turtle then offered her support. I can take you safely across the raging river, she suggested to the beggar. In return, could you ask Buddha, when will I finally turn into a beautiful dragon? I've been waiting for 1,000 years. The beggar was grateful for the turtle's help and promised to ask Buddha her question as well. Having crossing the river, he was finally at his destination. He went into the temple and saw the Buddha sitting in a lotus position. He brought his hands together in bow deeply and asked, Venerable Buddha, I have made a long and arduous journey to meet you. May I ask you some questions? Of course you may, the Buddha replied with a smile. You may ask me 3 questions. But I have 4 questions. The Buddha was silent. The beggar pondered on which question to leave out. He felt very sorry for the poor girl who never spoke. He asked Buddha, why doesn't the pretty girl speak? The girl will speak as soon as she meets her soulmate. The beggar remembered the wise old sorcerer and decided to ask his question as well. The old man has only one thing to do, to let go of his staff, which he has been clinging for 100 years, replied the Buddha. Then he will immediately ascend to heaven. The beggar now had only one question left. When he thought of the turtle that had been waiting so long to become a dragon, his own problem seemed very small and insignificant. Therefore, he decided not to ask his own question and to ask that of the turtle instead. As long as the turtle hides in her shell, she would never become a dragon, the Buddha replied. She must let go of her shell. The beggar thanked the Buddha for his answers and left the temple. On his way back, he met the turtle and told her that what the Buddha answer was. The turtle slipped out of her shell and instantly transformed into a giant dragon. The dragon thanked the beggar and flew sincerely into the air and away. In the shell that the dragon had left behind, the beggar found thousands of beautiful pearls from the deepest depths of the sea. Next, the beggar met the sorcerer. He told him that he had to let go of his staff in order to go to heaven. The old man immediately let go of his staff and happily ascended to heaven. The beggar was now rich through the pearls of the turtle and powerful through the sorcerer's staff. He flew with the staff to the house of the beautiful girl. There he told the girl's mother that her daughter would begin to speak as soon as she met her soulmate. The daughter came downstairs, saw the beggar, and began to speak. There it is, guys, the beggar's journey. Wow, powerful, short, sweet, and amazing. One of amazing stories in this book. I'm so grateful to share this story with you guys, and I will do so once a week together, and we will share this story with others, hopefully. And if you're looking to get the book yourself, it's called Book of Wisdom. Here's the cover, and I got it off of Amazon. So thank you guys so much for sitting with me, and God bless you guys, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. Happy Monday, guys. Bye.